Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 annual meeting and celebration of the Maine Children's Home. My name is Daniel Santos, and I'm the Director of Growth and Innovation at the Portland Regional Chamber of Commerce, and I have the pleasure of proudly serving as the Volunteer Board President here at the Maine Children's Home. The purpose of this annual meeting and celebration is to inform the supportive community of Maine Children's Home about what the organization has accomplished in 2022 with your support to achieve its mission, how the organization is doing financially to sustain its good work, and what the Maine Children's Home is planning for the future. Tonight, we are particularly excited to share a presentation on an evidence-based curriculum that some staff members at the Maine Children's Home have been certified to teach. This curriculum is important and strengthens the impact of multiple Maine Children's Home programs. I'm also excited to say that we'll be showing a short documentary film about the Journey program, formerly known as the Sharon Abrams Teen Parent Education Program. We'll hear a personal story from the current Journey program director who was once a young mom and participated in this program herself. We'll be also recognizing the amazing supporters, volunteer, and staff who make the great work at Maine Children's Home possible. And make sure to stick around until the closing of this event, as we'll be also offering a wonderful door prize. Before we begin this evening, on behalf of the Board of Directors and myself, I would like to speak on something that fills us up with great pride and admiration, and that's the incredible staff at the Maine Children's Home. Despite the unprecedented challenges of these past few years, the dedicated staff have consistently risen to the occasion and ensured that the children and families of Maine receive the very best care and support. Their tireless effort and commitment to excellence have not gone unnoticed, and it is with great honor that I stand before you today and express the Board of Directors' deep admiration for all that they do. So to the staff of the Maine Children's Home, I say thank you. Thank you for your hard work and your unwavering dedication to providing world-class services to the children and family of Maine and our amazing community. You truly inspire us all. And with that said, I'd like to now introduce a brief video that illustrates the importance of every donation made to the Maine Children's Home.
The number one factor that can build long-lasting resilience is a consistent connection with a nurturing and caring adult. This fact is at the heart of why Maine Children's Home exists, to make those connections, to connect children in the adoption system with families that fit their needs, of support, safety, or a sense of belonging, to help young parents discover their self-worth and become successful adults for themselves and their kids, to connect children and adults with professional mental health support and resources, to help parents, caregivers, and educators be stronger supporters for the children in their lives, to give a hand to families facing financial hardship during the winter months with essentials, games, and toys that help build connection at home. The ripple effect of making these connections that build and strengthen families spreads wider than we can know, into our community and beyond. By supporting Maine Children's Home, you become a catalyst of positive change. You become a nurturing and caring adult in the lives of many.
If you have donated to the Maine Children's Home in the past, I want you to sincerely know that your contribution has made a real and meaningful difference in the lives of the children and families that we serve. Those donations, simply put, make what we do possible. If you are moved by any of the stories, the passion, or the dedication you hear in tonight's presentation and want to make a difference, please consider donating tonight or even right now. Every dollar counts and will help us continue providing world-class care and support to those who need it most. There's a link to donate within this video's post, or you can visit themainechildren'shome.org/donate. Please consider making a contribution and becoming a part of this important work. Together, we can make a real and lasting difference in the lives of the children and families of Maine. Now, it is my honor, and I am proud to introduce the Executive Director of the Maine Children's Home, Rick Dorian. Rick Dorian has been the executive director for more than 7 years, and his 30 years of nonprofit leadership and management experience and his strong belief in the mission of the Maine Children's Home make him the best champion, community leader, and advocate for some of Maine's most vulnerable. It is my pleasure to introduce Rick to you all tonight. Rick?
Thank you, Dan, and thank you all for joining us tonight. As Dan mentioned, we are extremely excited to share some important insights into the work of the Maine Children's Home. But before I introduce myself, our first presentation, I'd like to highlight our programs for anyone who may be new to us. At Maine Children's Home, we have 5 core programs. These are the Family Adoption Program, which provides a lifetime of services for birth parents, adopted families, and adoptees. Family Counseling Center, which helps to guide clients towards hope, healing, and wholeness. The Christmas and Winter Essentials Program, which shares joy and winter warmth with kids and families who are facing financial hardship during the holidays. Journey Program, which supports young parents on their path to self-worth and positive parenting. And the Connected Families Project, which offers powerful, accessible, and evidence-based tools to help strengthen families. Each of these programs meets people right where they are with care and respect, whether that means assessing the needs of a child who is being adopted and placing them with the best forever family we can, or providing professional support to a child in counseling who has experienced traumatic events, or empowering a young parent to gain vital support to be the best version of themselves. All of our programs overlap in a number of ways. One being that they are strengthened by the guidance and the support of professional social workers who are trained in evidence-based approaches, treatments, and curricula. With that, I introduce a presentation about the Making Sense of Your Worth curriculum that several of our staff have been certified to teach and share with participants of our programs. The presentation tonight is from the Director of Family Counseling Center, Amy Davis, who began as a counselor with Maine Children's Home in 2019. Amy has a BA from Lesley College in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and a master's in counseling from the University of New England in Biddeford. Amy is a licensed clinical social worker who is passionate about promoting creative play and play therapy in her work. She's working towards becoming a registered play therapist. Amy became the director of the Family Counseling Center in August of 2022. Here's Amy.
I am Amy Davis, the director of the Family and Counseling Center at the Maine Children's Home. I've been at the Maine Children's Home for 3 years. I'm currently one of 4 Making Sense of Your Worth facilitators that we have on staff. Making Sense of Your Worth is an 8-session group format or individual training that's designed to help participants increase their self-worth. The training helps participants explore what ideas they believe about themselves, what caused them to believe those ideas, and what's holding them back. During our lives, we may experience hurtful events that we struggle to make sense of. These events can have a long-lasting impact on how we feel about ourselves and see ourselves. They can cause us to form lies, beliefs about ourselves that are not true. These lies can negatively affect all aspects of our lives, our romantic relationships, how we work with others, and how we care for our children, as well as how our children feel about themselves. Making Sense of Your Worth helps participants develop understanding of why they have these beliefs and release the false beliefs that they've had about themselves. Making Sense of Your Worth helps participants to develop an understanding of the lies they've told themselves and help them to release those false beliefs that may have been blocking their growth and way of living. Let's imagine for a moment that you're wearing an empty backpack. Doesn't seem very heavy right now, does it? Now imagine that every time you believe a lie about you, that this lie becomes a rock, and each time you add that rock to your backpack, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not worthy. How much heavier is your backpack now? Tomorrow? 5 years from now? We believe these lies to be truths, and they weigh on us. The weight has an impact on how we show up in our lives, relationships, work, parenthood, all parts of our lives. If we take time to look at each rock, the lie, and process it, we can learn to remove the weight we carry and replace it with the actual truth of who we are. How wonderful would it be not to carry your backpack anymore? So this is an example of one of the activities that we complete during the Making Sense of Your Worth sessions. Making Sense of Your Worth is available in group or individual formats from ages 8 through adult. Groups are set up for ages 8 to 12, teen, and adults. Anyone who struggled to move on from an event that's had a negative impact on how they feel about themselves can benefit from Making Sense of Your Worth, as well as anyone who isn't sure why they feel stuck or have trouble believing in themselves. Making sense of your worth is important because it allows people to see what they are worthy of having and experiencing in life. Once participants release negative beliefs about themselves, the training helps them to build a positive self-worth, to begin changing their lives based on that new self-worth, and it shows them how to maintain that self-worth. You can learn more about Making Sense of Your Worth on the Connected Families Project Training and Tools page at mainechildren'shome.org.
Thank you, Amy, for sharing your commitment and expertise with us. Making Sense of Your Worth is used by counselors with clients in the Family Counseling Center and is a training offered through our Connected Families Project. It is also offered to the young parents who participate in our Journey program. I now have the honor to introduce a documentary about the Journey program and the current Journey program director, Alaina Wolman, who is a powerful model demonstrating the impact of this program designed to support young parents. Created in 1974, the Sharon Abrams Teen Parent Education Program was originally designed to support teens who are pregnant or parenting, with a primary focus of supporting healthy pregnancies, teaching parenting skills, and assisting the teens to complete their high school education. Since then, the program has evolved with the changing needs of families and has recently been expanded to serve parents in their early 20s. The shift has required a name change for the program, from Teen Parent Education Program to the Journey program.
To meet Alex for the first time was just bliss. He was perfect. He was this little bundle of joy, and I, at that moment, felt like I had found my purpose. I was not nervous because I knew what was coming. I understood what the doctors and the nurses were talking about, even when they were using their lingo. I knew when I should be concerned, when I shouldn't be, and it just made my whole delivery go really smooth. My name is Alaina Wolman. I am the director of the Journey program. I was a teen mom and graduated in 2002 from the program, and I have been working for the Maine Children's Home since 2002. Journey program is a program for young parents that are either pregnant or parenting. The program's designed for teens and young people into their early 20s.
So for rear-facing babies, we want the strap to be either right at.
We provide parenting class, prenatal education, and group support, along with academic support and help with resources. The most important thing that the program does for our participants is to teach them to believe in themselves and to give them the tools that they need to be successful in life as people and as parents.
I think that the Journey program is important because it is proof in the pudding, so to speak, that you should never give up on anybody. I'm Sharon Abrams, and I'm currently doing adoption work for the Maine Children's Home, loving every second of it in my semi-retirement mode. But I have been with the organization for 48 years now, serving in many different capacities along the way. Sometimes the students that we are working with and trying to help have been beaten down pretty bad, and they've been told that they'd never be able to do it. They weren't worth it. And they were just like so-and-so. So they really felt that they were doomed. And I think that this program and the people that this program has attracted as teachers and educators are really surrogate parents to these young women. And that's what really makes the difference. They're told every day that you are worth it. You can do it. You can do it with help. You can do it. We're here for you. And I think eventually they start believing it. And once they start seeing success, they thrive on it and they do a wonderful job. Without a doubt, one of our biggest success stories and one that I'm fortunate to still be part of is Alaina Wolman. I remember very well actually driving to Oakland and picking her up and her little guy as she came down some very steep stairs of an apartment with him in one hand and all the baby paraphernalia in another, and got in the car every single day. And the fact that she is now the program director, talk about a success story.
So when I was in the program, the director at the time was Carol Burgoyne and the teacher was Jana Burgoyne. They weren't related. Burgoyne was spelled differently. But they were two of the most supportive mentors I've ever had in my life. And then you wrap Sharon Abrams into the mix and it was like a dream team. They really helped me believe in myself. I think my personal experience helps me be the director by having some understanding of the path that these participants are on. I never want to ever say that I understand exactly what they're going through because everybody's journey is different and I don't want to take away from their experience. But I do think it gives me a sense of understanding. I know what it's like to go to high school while caring for an infant. I know what it's like to face challenges and stigmas out in the community and how to navigate those. And that's the piece that I try to give back to them, is help to navigate those challenging situations. So my husband and I have been together since we met that freshman year. We've been together for 24 years. Our oldest son, Alex, is now 21. His younger brother is now 18. His name is Andrew. Both my kids are incredibly funny and kind, and I always say that even if they weren't mine, I'd want to hang out with them.
The program really has evolved. It's still evolving, and it's going to be probably, and I hope for another 40 or 50 years, based on the needs of our community.
We are so fortunate to have Alaina on our team. Her personal experience and natural way of caring for others makes her a strong leader for the Journey program, and we're so grateful for her and her 20 years of experience and lots of important roles at Maine Children's Home. We are deeply thankful for the staff of the Maine Children's Home that live out our mission and provide the vital support and caring each and every day. We had some transitions in our staff this year, which led to new leadership in our programs and several new hires. I want to take just a minute to talk about the staff on our different programs. In our family adoption program, Brian MacArthur, Caroline Hutchinson, Sharon Abrams, Cindy Smith, Ricky Pease, and Nicole Rancourt. At our family counseling center, Amy Davis, Jackie DuPont, Elsie Absher, Beth Russell, Gabe Panette, Savannah Dutil, Kristen Record, Samantha Turner, Chelsea Short, Jody Goody, and Verna Hughes. In the development program, Elizabeth Barron, Chelsea Ellis, and Cheryl Taylor. And at the Christmas and Winter Essentials program, Amanda Simmons. And the Connected Families Project Director, Tracy Lloyd. Our Journey program is Alaina Wolman, Amanda Brown, and Cheryl Taylor. And in our administration and operations, myself, Rick Dorian, Diana Rafuse, Melissa Bonnell, Lynette Francis, and Becky Sugden. And of course, our maintenance staff that keep everything working, Steve DeShane and Paul Ibbotson. Thank you to the Maine Children's Home staff that show up every day to support us all and to serve our mission. We are very grateful for each and every one of you. It wouldn't be an annual meeting if we didn't take some time to share some of the impacts of Maine Children's Home Services. We have assembled a series of slides to share ways that we have supported people in our communities this year. As always, we invite you to visit the Maine Children's Home website to learn a great deal more about each and every one of our programs and how to access them. You could find that www.mainechildrenshome.org. Please enjoy our annual report. Through incredible community support in 2022, Maine Children's Home has provided vital encouragement, support, training, and resources to increase the health and well-being of thousands of Maine children, youth, and families. While it's been another dynamic year with constantly shifting economy, we are deeply thankful for new funding from the federal employee retention credits from 2020 and 2021 being returned to the organization, new ARPA funding from the Kennebec County, new support from the city of Waterville, and most recently, funding promoted by Senator Angus King for congressionally directed spending to assist the organization. Each of these new resources of revenue will create new momentum, support, and resources to maintain and keep expanding our vital work. We are very proud of continued community partnerships that we've maintained with Bright Beginnings Learning Center for their childcare on our campus, the Children's Center of Augusta, which provides OT, physical therapy, speech, and behavioral support for youth from the greater Waterville community. Although we concluded our partnership with AOS 92 Waterville Schools, where Maine Children's Home had hosted their alternative high school program for over 2 decades, we are very grateful for their partnership. The evolution of the Lunder Building will enable us to expand trauma-informed counseling spaces for participants of the Family Counseling Center. These community partners help to maximize use of the space across our campus. We've expanded support and training for Maine Children's Home staff through updating our benefits, payroll systems, virtual training opportunities, quarterly staff gatherings, a robust annual retreat, thank you Thursdays to gather for a bite to eat, to chat and learn agency updates, and expanding time off opportunities and more. We truly value our staff. Continued growth of the Connected Families Project at Maine Children's Home for trainings and outreach and support in new and dynamic ways, and have brought on a full-time director. There's been significant transformation over the past year of the Journey Young Parent Program. This updated model provides more support to a broader range of young parents, provides resources, support to students in broader areas, additional outreach and community connections, more flexibility to attend whether you're in Waterville or Holton, Maine, reaches more schools with continued focuses on prenatal health, parenting, and completing educational goals. There are expanded connections and outreach to support youth through the Threshold program at Goodwill Hinckley, through local adult education, alternative education, and other virtual and online learning connections. We are successfully moving forward as an organization, and teams of supporters to fulfill our mission and make life better for Maine children and their families. And now I hand you back to Dan Santos for the board portion of tonight's event. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Rick. It is now my honor to call the 123rd annual meeting of the Maine Children's Home Board of Directors to order. My fellow board members are watching this evening and will be interacting with this portion of this evening's event through the comments on Facebook or YouTube. But before we begin, as is tradition in all of our board meetings, I'd like to start this meeting by reciting our mission. And that is, the Maine Children's Home builds and strengthens families and their children, instilling hope for the future and a better quality of life. Tonight, the board had a couple of official and brief pieces of business to complete, and that is to adopt the Maine Children's Home Board of Directors for 2023 and to honor a dedicated volunteer. The board met earlier today to vote on this, but we are making a motion on this publicly now. Do I hear a motion to adopt the Maine Children's Home Board of Directors for 2023? Sorry, there's a brief pause between the YouTube and this video. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Leah. And thank you, Kristen, for that second. Are there any objections? Hearing and seeing none, that concludes this portion of the annual business meeting of the Maine Children's Home Board. But before we close, we'd also like to honor a long-term board member and volunteer, Dan Booth. Before this meeting, Paul Goodoff put forth a motion nominating Dan Booth as an honorary director. This was voted upon electronically amongst the board, and all votes were gathered. All present voted in the affirmative, and Paul cited Dan's long exemplary leadership and service to the Maine Children's Home, including stepping up over the past few years, even as serving as past president, to help us navigate through the challenges that we've been facing. He and his family have been long dedicated volunteers and contributors to the Maine Children's Home. His wife is a long-term volunteer at the Friends of the Maine Children's Home, and his daughter will also be serving on this board once again and has served in the past. Over the past couple of years, his mentorship and guidance has been paramount to my development on this board. So with that said, as a friend and a mentor, I and the board sincerely thank you, Dan Booth, for all your wonderful years of service throughout these many years. And with that said, I would like to officially close this portion of the meeting. Before I step down as my final service as acting board president, I would like to congratulate our new board members for officially joining. Please welcome Maggie Solis, Leo Berube, Sean Landry, and Steve Doyon. I also want to congratulate the incoming board president, Ryan Kerr. It's very exciting to have you as our new leader this year, and I look forward to serving beside you as past president. And as with that said, that I would also like to express my sincere gratitude for all the outgoing board members who have volunteered their time and energy to the Maine Children's Home during their terms. And those folks are Daniel Booth, who has served his third 3-year term, and Rachel Card, who just finished her first 3-year term. We're extremely grateful for your years of dedicated service. And with that said, I'd like to hand this over to the amazing Director of Philanthropy and Community Engagement at the Maine Children's Home, Elizabeth Barrett.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you to all of the board members. A dedicated board of directors is absolutely a key element of success for an organization, and we are grateful for your dedication. Thank you. I am happy and honored to recognize and thank other Maine Children's Home supporters in the course of 2022 as well. First, I want to extend our great thanks to Rick and Judy McKenzie at Construction Consulting of Maine for sponsoring this annual meeting and for our 2022 annual report. Business sponsorships in 2022 included Golden Pond Wealth Management, Northeast Laboratory Services, SAPI, New Balance, as well as a couple of very generous anonymous supporters. We thank you all for this very special level of support. We also recognize the great support that we get every year from Cozy Harbor Seafood. Annually, they donate all of the lobster that the Friends of Maine Children's Home are using to create their lobster lunch fundraiser. And while I'm talking about the Friends, this very big, very successful fundraiser that they hold for us each year helps support core Maine Children's Home programs. So thank you also to the Friends always. I extend a shout out to Hudamaki. They donate thousands of boxes in the course of a year to support our winter essentials and gifts for the Christmas program, distributing those gifts to the children in the program. And of course, Marden's Red Stocking program every year at every Marden's store. Also, thanks to all of our Giving Tree sites, we have such great support from all around the state, making Christmas program so successful. We have steady and loyal support from Mix Maine Media and their annual holiday shop, Central Maine Motors, credit unions from around the state, Traverse Coffee, Damon's Beverage, Mainly Tubs, and national groups, Toys for Tots and the Pajama Program, and literally hundreds of businesses and individuals and families and schools who find numerous ways to support the children and families that are served by Maine Children's Home. So now I'm going to transition to the 2022 MCH Awards. These awards recognize specifically outstanding volunteers and business supporters from 2022. The MCH Volunteer Award for Outstanding Volunteer Support. Sometimes it may sound redundant, but the bulk of our volunteer commitment at Maine Children's Home is for the Christmas program. As always, we get great support from the Friends of Maine Children's Home, significant and impactful fundraising and volunteering for Christmas. Also, we have a very dedicated group of core volunteers who once again stepped up in a very major way for this program. And I'd like to specifically recognize Rhonda Ducret, Christine Rancourt, Judy Pequet, and Tom and Judy Quinn. We also had several new Christmas volunteers who stepped up in a very big way this year. John and Jackie Dalton. John is also on the board of directors at MCH, and Jackie is treasurer for the Friends. So very loyal and wonderful supporters. Also, new core volunteers, Melanie Wallace, Bailey Lockhart, and Bill and Diane Vassar. And thank you to all of you for becoming core volunteers. We appreciate you greatly. I'll pause for applause. The Maine Children's Home Business Award for Outstanding Support is perhaps not a surprise for folks if you've been paying attention. We cannot possibly thank Marden's customers, staff, and family enough for hosting the Red Stocking program in all of their stores across the state every holiday season. We are deeply grateful. Not only by hosting this program, you help people who might possibly need the support of the program to find out about it. And so you help make it easier for us to support the families that we do support. You also make it a lot easier for people to support the program with their donations. And all of that is incredibly helpful in and of itself. This past year, Marden's customers, staff, and family really stepped up, donating $100,000 from their Red Stocking program to MCH. I'm going to pause for applause for that as well. It's an incredible statement of our community and the support that we want to give to each other when we realize that families among us might be struggling. So thank you. Again, thank you to all of the organizations, businesses, and volunteers who support our work. We are very grateful to have you in our dedicated and caring community. If you're interested in volunteering or becoming a sponsor of an event or a program at MCH, please reach out to us and let us know. Look for the volunteer sign-up form or the donation page on our website, mainechildren'shome.org. And now I will hand the presentation back over to Rick to give his closing remarks and to announce the winners of tonight's store prizes. Rick?
Thank you, Elizabeth. As Elizabeth shared, we are so deeply grateful for our supportive community. We are here and doing the work we are able to accomplish because of you and the deep and broad community support. We know each of you are here because you care deeply about the needs of children, youth, and families. If you were moved at all by any portion of this event, please consider making a donation by clicking on the link within the description of this video or by visiting mainechildren'shome.org/donate. Your donation will help us to reach our goals for 2023. Here are but a few of them. We're expanding our strategic plan to increase our impact and our effectiveness. We are reviewing and focusing our mission, vision, and values for the future. We are consulting with Up With Community and Nico Chin to enhance and deepen our agency commitment and understanding of diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, and belonging. We are expanding the birth parent outreach services within the adoption program. We're trying to reach out with information, education, and support across the state of Maine to healthcare partners and providers. We want to make sure that if you encounter young people or young adults or any kind of adults that may have an unexpected pregnancy, and they're looking for some tools and education and information about what they may be able to learn about adoption. We want to help provide that support and information. If you know of anyone or would like to have us share more information, please reach out to Brian MacArthur and our adoption program. We are updating our volunteer opportunities across Maine Children's Home. We've learned a lot with COVID and how to keep inviting people to come and step up and be part of the work on our campus and helping to promote our work. And Elizabeth, I didn't forget, we are having a very exciting block party for the community on August 17th. We want to invite people to come and experience our campus and walk around and talk with the people that work at Maine Children's Home and some of our outstanding volunteers to learn more and to be more engaged in what is the work that we do on our campus. There are thousands of people that drive down Silver Street every day beyond our campus, and we want to say, come on in, have a snack, take a walk around, talk to some of the people that are making a difference in our organization. And we will be inviting you very publicly as we get closer to that date. We are expanding training and professional development for Maine Children's Home staff. We are updating and planning for vital improvements on the Dorothy Bibby Alphon campus, which houses the Maine Children's Home. It is a very impressive campus, and we are pleased to be housing and promoting our services right in from the center of Waterville. And so look forward to hearing more about those improvements on our campus. And most importantly, we are expanding opportunities for our community to learn about, to be more engaged in, and to support our mission and our work. These are unprecedented times for a lot of families with children. And as we have learned from COVID, it's been a great leveler, regardless of whatever resources you might have in your family. There are some new stressors and some new challenges, and we have many, many resources and tools to be able to help every family in our community and across the state. And we're so excited to be able to share those tools and to make life better for children, youth, and families. Without further ado, I will now announce the winner of tonight's door prizes. The door prizes tonight are three $25 gift cards from Rita's Pizza in the center of Waterville. Each of the winners were entered for a chance to win this door prize as a registered participant on Eventbrite. Drum roll, please. And the winners are Jennifer Peelmer, Sean Landry, and Cheryl Taylor. Congratulations, Jennifer, Sean, and Cheryl. We'll be in touch with you after this event to arrange a way to get your door prize to you. One of my closing comments, one of my favorite quotes, comes from Winston Churchill. Churchill said that we make a life by what we get. Or we make a living by what we get, and we make a life by what we give. We are so thankful for all of our partners and supporters in our work. We could not do our work, and hopefully you have learned more. You've been excited by and impressed by the incredible work that is taking place at Maine Children's Home. We welcome you, and we need you to be part of this work. And thank you for being with us to make such an impressive difference for thousands of children, youth, and families across the great state of Maine. And as you've heard a few times tonight, we invite you to learn much more about us by visiting our website, mainechildrenshome.org. We can't thank our volunteers enough, our board of directors, all those many, many people that step up and give so freely and so openly to help make a great and wonderful difference. Thank you and good night.